Good evening. Well, first I need to declare my bias. I'm a web developer, I'm not a web designer. So I build lots of websites, but I don't design websites. I am a partner at a creative agency, so I'm pretty up close with the design process. I see a lot of sites get done, and I'm kind of at my wit's end, and I'm thinking, web design is dead. It's just dead. I work all day in this industry, and I guess it's not dead. There's a role for designers. It's a huge role, but the process with which most people undertake designing of a website, it's over. But if we change, I think we can say, long live web design. Web design is dead, long live web design. But it's the process that's wrong. And most creatives, they live in a world where there's this big, upfront, creative process. And that makes a lot of sense for a lot of the mediums that they're usually working in. I mean, you've got the time constraints of designing that press ad. It's got to go to the printer. If it's a TV kind of commercial, it's got to get made. There's a lot going on. You've got to get it right at the beginning, and then you've just got to build it. There's also the hat they wear is there's a lot of media being bought, and media is expensive. There's ad space to buy in magazines, on TV, radio, billboards, wherever it be. You don't want to get that wrong. You've got to do it all up front, then you build it, you display it. And so we end up with this process where realistically we're sort of having an educated guess. A client hires a designer or an agency, and they have their best guess at what will work. They put it out there and see what happens. And in a lot of mediums, there's really no way to track it. Maybe it doesn't want to be tracked. And that's why we get this kind of old saying that only half of advertising works, and we just don't know which half. But in a medium like the web, where everything is trackable or should be trackable, this process, it makes things too rigid. We've got to leave this hat behind when we come to design a website. We've got to move to something that's more agile, that can roll with the punches. So we've got to change our process, and we've got to spend time elsewhere. We've got to spend time elsewhere rather than just this big upfront process. And the way to do it, I think, is we've really got to set some goals that are measurable. Don't dress this up as some brand building exercise. That's just an excuse for advertising campaigns that don't work. And make something that's measurable. I mean, when you build a website, clients usually want names in databases, more traffic, products sold. It's something that's very, very measurable. So we've really got to get that right. What are we actually doing? It's kind of best in web to, in my opinion, quickly just get the thing up there. Not in a kind of half-assed way, but just get it out there and see what happens. See who's clicking on things, see where the traffic's coming. Are you getting any traffic? Get to market quickly. Probably try multiple approaches. There's plenty of ways to randomize different designs, see what's working, see which landing page for your AdWords actually works, actually gets clicks, actually sells products. Design multiple approaches. And spend a lot more time analyzing the data, because you can get a lot of data in this medium. You can really see where people came from, where they were going, what they were thinking, what keywords they used to get to your site. So spend a lot more time analyzing that data. So really, the budget's probably going to be the same, and you've got to do all this extra stuff, so you're really going to have to reduce this upfront creative process. Don't make it so big, don't make it so rigid. Make it agile, make it smaller. Make it more able to be changed on the fly. And on the web, my opinion is design is kind of unlikely to be the point of failure anyway. You might not get any traffic. Who cares how beautiful the web design is? If no one's coming to it, it really doesn't matter. You've got to get people there and see what works. So spend less time designing at the beginning. It doesn't really matter if your drop shadow is quite right, or your rounded corners, or your font size is exactly as the designer intended. It's probably not going to be the problem with the site. But it's very important to design small things and many small things, and design iteratively. Be able to roll with the punches. So I guess in this new process that I would like to see happen at my agency, I just got to say web design is dead. Change the process, and maybe long live web design. Thank you.